the sustainability benefit and limits, the environmental benefit of sustainable product service system. Eco-efficient means environmentally and economically efficient. Okay, so we understood that for an economic reason, a provider will say to a designer, or you design something that is good for environment, or I fire you out because you make me to lose the money. Okay, we get this point? Okay, let's go to understand why. So if we have this kind of offer through an SPSS model, so we are offering a product retaining the ownership and being paid per unit of satisfaction. There beside there is Xerox. So for example, they are paid per copy made, okay, retaining the ownership and so on. The longer the product lasts. So how long the product lasts? What kind of and where is the benefit for the economic benefit for the provider? I'm coming back to what we said before, but I want to make it a more schematic way. So if this is the offer, which is SPSS offer, the longer the product lasts, what kind of economic benefit gives to? So the longer you're close, one part was missing. The longer the product lasts, the more they postpone the cost of disposal. Okay, it's their ownership. If this lasts long, the cost for disposal will be, okay, far away. So this is saving money. And on the other side, as he said, as last is long, then it is postponed the pre-production, the production of the material, the production of the product, and so on. So they avoid this cost. It's clear? The longer it lasts, they avoid the cost of disposal and pre-production, production, and transportation. It's economic, but it's quite clear. You get it? Said this, which interests us is that there is an economic interest for the producers to say to the designer, as I said before, you have to design something that lasts longer. Okay, a second thing. Here we see car sharing. If we are selling a shared use of product, like car sharing, okay, the more the product are intensively used, so there is no car that is parked. All the cars are there around. What is the economic benefit, which is interesting in environmental terms? Because it means that there are less cars used for people, okay? So we have less cars in a given context, okay? But why this is interesting in economic terms for the provider? There are more people using the same service. They are gonna, or it's well organized, okay? So again, the producer will say to the designer, you have to design something that is easy to be, okay? If, as in the case of the pay-per-use, if we are selling all-inclusive, the product plus the resources that they are using, the energy, could be even water, the higher the product is efficient, so how less energy is using per wash, what is the benefit? Why there is a benefit for the producer? The higher the product resource efficiency in use, here is the point. The energy is a cost for whom? For the partnership, not for the client. The higher is the profit because they get the payment minus the cost of the resources. They are paying the resources. The energy used by the washing machine is cancelled by the bill because they are offering this. You pay per wash, you don't pay the washing machine, you don't pay the energy, okay? So they want to have the most efficient washing machine. So they cut those costs. It's clear? Okay, thank you. So they will say to the designer, you have to design the most efficient washing machine and blah, blah, okay? And if they are selling, this is related to the energy, but energy is key important. I don't know if Elisa will have now he will make a conference about that. You have to listen, it's very, very interesting. If you sell all-inclusive, the energy generator and the source of energy, and you pay per period, per time, and so on. So you get the energy generator, you're not the ownership. You're not paying the fuel that is used or the source that makes this generator to produce the electricity. The higher is the use of passive or renewable resources, makes what kind of benefit for the provider? Because those resources, usually so far they are for free. Okay, for free the system could be more, but in general terms, this is so, and you will see there are lots of cases witnessing this. The higher is the profit, the payment minus the cost of non-passive renewable resources that you would use. Okay, if I have to use a diesel generator, then I have to pay the diesel. I don't have to pay the sun. Okay, so they design for passive renewable resources optimization. Again, if you sell all-inclusive the product with end-of-life treatment, it's a full package. The more the material are recycled, the more the energy we recover, the more we compost. The company compost. Why this is a benefit? If they recover energy, they don't have to buy energy. Or if it's a case of compost, they don't have to buy compost or something like this. Okay, and they avoid even the cost of landfilling. So there is an interest on designing for, or how we say, extending the life span of material, recycling, and so on. And again, if we sell together with some toxic substances the end-of-life treatment, the lower are the potential toxic emission during the use or during the end of the life, if they are offering the toxic plus the end-of-life treatment. The lower is this, the higher I go, because you are getting tired, the more they avoid the cost of the treatment of the toxic resources and blah, 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 blah. You see the example of SafeChem by Dow Chemical. Well, we don't want any toxic, but since sometimes they still exist, okay? So again, there is a push to design for toxic efficiency and so on. I skip this, I have to go fast, because I want to go to the socio-ethical benefit. And here again, I want you to give me some answer. Selling to the final user, which is typical for an SPSS model, the assess rather than the mere product ownership. Now we are speaking about socio-ethical benefit and the assess of goods and services to low and middle income contexts and people. What happened? If they have to buy a car, they cannot. If they take a car sharing, hopefully electricity power, okay? Because even about car sharing, we could make a long story. It's not that the car sharing per se is sustainable, okay? We will discuss this another time. They reduce or they avoid the purchasing cost that many times is too high for low and middle income contexts or people, okay? And this gives benefits to people because goods and services that people don't have access to. And if they are selling to the user as an all-inclusive to the product, whether it's sell or not, the life cycle services for maintenance, reparation, and so on, why this is beneficial for low and middle income people? If it gets broken, if you need to maintain, okay, maybe this. Many times we saw some example in Africa. They have this, pump or whatever. Okay, it gets broken because it was donated, and then it's there. 10 years, no use, nothing, because they don't have the money to do that. Okay, so even this is a key point and a key issue. They avoid the cost for product maintenance, repair, and so on. That is many times is too. And so we avoid the interruption of use. And so the benefit that the use of those products and services can give to us. If we go to the entrepreneurial level, we are saying something very similar. But this is key important as well. Because in a local economy, well, you well study as well, but you have to look both at the quality of life of a family, but at the same time to empower the local economy, the local entrepreneur. So if if we are selling to an entrepreneur the assets rather than the equipment, the sewing machine, the drill, I don't know, whatever it is to make the wood workshop or whatever it is. Why is this interesting? It makes it affordable as for the final consumer, as the final user. They don't have the initial investment cost. Okay, they can start, then they make a business, then it will be then easier to, if they are good in making it a business, of course, to go on with this. All right? You may have, in many cases, you cannot have a business startup because you don't have this initial investment cost. Well, there are even other strategies, microcredit or other things, but even SPSS, it's definitely a good strategy. And it's a good strategy even, we never forget that the producer will do something that is even environmentally sustainable. So it's a win-win in all the directions. And again, if they are selling to the entrepreneur an all-inclusive life cycle services for maintenance, reparation, and so on, I'm going to say for you, they may not have, now because you get the point, I think, I hope, they don't have the risk of not having the money, the cash, to pay the reparation of some equipment that could be too costly at that point for them. But if that was in the agreement with the one that was offering this as an SPSS, including whatever it happened, you pay per use, per time, or whatever, I will take care of the maintenance and so on. So we avoid the interruption of the working activities. Okay? Finally, and this is very interesting for me, it's kind of a, I don't know if you follow the debate on the base of the pyramid. You heard about it? You discussed with some colleague of you, of course. But the base of the pyramid is like you have a pyramid, you have few person very rich here, lots of person very poor here. And there was several decades ago, starting from the US, I think, I'm not so sure, but I heard that time in Yale University, very many years ago, they said, okay, good, we can make lots of money by selling very cheap product, but to so many people that we can get anyhow lots of money. Okay, so anyhow, in a sense that they were anyhow having economy of scale, they can have product and so on, but I have some doubt about the quality of the product, but said this was a discussion, a debate that has been an evolution into that. So I made only really the bad story of that. There is even a very good and very excellent example about that. But on a SPSS, we are, even in this case, we are looking to the base of the pyramid. Why? Because we are offering something that is accessible to the base of the pyramid. But actually, with a high quality product, potentially, maybe with the most efficient and long-lasting solar panel the most efficient washing machine, the most resistant. Because this is in the interest of the company, okay? And so maybe this is even very well washing and so on. So again, what does it mean? That these open a new market opportunity for the base of the pyramid in a different way as it is traditionally perceived, offering this as an SPSS. Okay?